Hey y'all, welcome back to the Be Like D channel. It's your girl D coming back with another review of Love and Marriage Huntsville season 4 episode 4. Episode 3 wasn't really that much, wasn't too much really going on, except Martell pretending like Mel he was so heartbroken that Mel didn't bring the kids to the damn book signing that he scheduled on her week. But anyway, so let's get into the episode. Okay, so the episode opens up with Tiffany coming over to Mel's house, and she want to rehash what happened with Stormy. Basically, she's saying, last time I was here, I had Kimmy over here, we're resolving our issue, and then on this seat, I had Stormy. Cause you tripping, baby. That would be funny to me, but anyway, so she's saying she didn't like how Stormy was coming at her, basically. And then Mel was like, well, I didn't want anybody to have those issues or that energy. Even though she was over there sipping her drink, letting the mess happen, okay? But she's like, why don't y'all just sit down and have a conversation about it? And she's like, and then if at the end of the conversation, y'all still don't get along, that's fine. We ain't all gotta be friends like that. We could just be cordial. And that's basically what she said in her confessional, that 90% of their issues is because people need to just be comfortable with not getting along. So we could just be cordial. We could just, do the business we gotta do together and move on. And I'm like, okay, Mel, let's see how that happened with Tisha, okay? So now Tiffany want to get into the mess, and she asking Mel about the book signing, and then that the kids wasn't there. And then Mel was like, well, I was made aware of the book signing about 2 days before, and I wasn't asked, I was told if the kids was gonna be ready. I was like, of course, I believe it. I believe it. He thought if he just slid it in real quick that she would be like, okay, they can go. But honestly, I feel like if the kids like really advocated to go, she would have let them go. But anyway, so she said she had a death in the family and all of this, so this is why she didn't go. It was her week with the kids, not his week. He could have scheduled that shit on his time, which he could have. I mean, all you gotta say is, oh no, that ain't gonna be a good week for us, obviously. So he really played everybody with all these people that's feeling bad for his ass. Like, yes, she could have brought him, but does it matter because it wasn't his week, okay? And he could have planned it on his week, so whatever, Martell. You tried it again. You tried it again. You want to make me look bad, and some people, I guess you did, but most people look right through that bullshit you do all the time. But anyway, and then Tiffany is trying to say that she don't want her to make bad decisions or decisions because of their past and all the stuff they went through. And then she was like, well, it ain't the past, because we ain't even been divorced a year yet. And I'm like, damn. It ain't even been a year yet. Oh goodness, y'all relationship was terrible, and y'all still going through shit. That's the crazy part. But she say because he a narcissist and all this stuff. So I'm glad I ain't got those problems. Okay. Sorry for you, girl. Sorry. But then anyway, she says how she's been disrespected for a long time, so she is teaching him how to treat her, basically. And I'm like, okay. She said you gotta set boundaries and teach people how to treat you. And I'm like, that's true. He's trying to control her, and people, she's saying people in her situation that's dealing with people like Martell, they have ex-husbands that's still trying to control their life, control what she's doing. I'm like, that makes sense, because that's it is what he's trying to do. He tried to be like, well, if I just slide it in on her week, it'll be fine. And he want to play that, and I'm so sad about it that they couldn't come. The kids are Arthur's. Oh goodness, y'all fell for that. I didn't. In Tiffany's confessional, she's saying that the whole situation with Mel and Martell, after hearing both sides, she feel like it's nobody's fault. It's basically the product of divorce. She said not all divorces are easy, so it's nobody's fault. I'm like, I guess it's Martell's fault though. It's Martell's fault because he's the reason they divorced, okay? He the reason they're doing all this dumb shit, okay? If you just let shit go and move on, go and move on with your little coleslaw, you'll be fine. But no, they want to pick fights and do all this kind of stuff with Mel. And I ain't saying that Mel don't do stuff back to him sometimes, probably, but he picking the fight. I'm sure she would let shit go if he would let you go. But anyway, so now we got Tiffany telling her business. And I'm like, finally we get something from you, girl. Instead of all this transparency. But guess what? I still got questions because she's saying her first husband, she basically left him because she wanted more money and she wanted a different lifestyle. But when she explaining this, she's saying all these words and stuff, right? And then Mel summarizes it like, so basically you just wanted more money and you wanted a different lifestyle. And then Tiffany talking about how this man was the love of her life. He loved her unconditionally. I'm like, girl, you like to romanticize everything that you say because I don't know, it just feels so fake when she's talking and she's saying all these words. I'm like, girl. But anyway, she loved me and my son unconditionally, and I just wanted more. I wanted more. He would be working from 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. and we still were struggling. I'm like, well, damn, girl. That's I mean, it was bold to say, but damn. And Mel ain't making no better. Oh, you broke his heart. I said, this fucked up, Mel. Why you going? She like she wanted to laugh when she said this shit too. And then Tiffany over there about to cry. And she's like, oh, don't cry. I'm like, well, that, yeah. She pouring out her heart. And you just gonna say, oh, you broke his heart. But anyway, Tiffany, I need more details because this story ain't adding up. But I guess you keep, and then I feel like she keep playing that and he passed away card. I don't know. I don't really like that. I feel like she using it in a way. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that. But she kind of using it for something to get some kind of sympathy. But I still got questions, girl. You ain't answer nothing for me, really. So now we got this scene with Kimmy and Tisha. And I guess they trying to make up or whatever. Discuss what's happened at the reunion when Kimmy said that if Tisha wasn't her family, she wouldn't be her friend. I'm like, we should all know that. But anyway, she's telling her that's not what she meant. She just meant that usually she don't go back and forth with people. If once they have one good argument, she cut them off. She don't care. She moving on. But since Tisha is family, she's never done with her and blah, blah, blah. Gotta make Tisha feel better. So, whatever. And Tisha's like, I understand. I know. I'm glad you cleared that up though. Yeah, but I know you ain't know because of the reunion. You're like, well, that's fine then. We could just be family. About the crying shit, girl. Bye. Okay, then Kimmy ended up telling Tisha about Mel's Christmas party and that her nor Destiny was invited, and then she's like, oh. But Kiki was there. Like, yeah, Kiki, I didn't know they was that close. So then I'm like, really? Okay, so pause right there. In the interview that Mel did with DJ Richie Scott on YouTube, she says that they've been friends for years and she was friends with her longer than she was friends with Tisha. But then Tisha coming on here and saying that she didn't know they was friends like that. So I'm like, what's the truth? Okay, but anyway, so back to the scene. And then Kimmy was like, yeah, I was surprised she was there too. And it was a lot of Tisha talk. And then she's like, well, y'all might want to have a conversation. I don't know why Kiki was there and doing that. Maurice is over to Black to meet up with Marceau. And he giving too much information about his honeymoon with Kimmy. Yeah, they finally went on the damn honeymoon after how long they been married? They got married in season 1 and season 4. So, okay. Anyway, they finally go on their honeymoon after all these damn rumors came out about his ass. Okay. Finally go on a honeymoon and he up talking this whole thing. Kimmy's a different woman and all this. I'm like, boy, shut up. You just trying to make it seem like overkill because you're in a hot seat right now. But anyway, and Marceau tell his ass that too much, okay? Then here come Louis showing up to talk to Marceau about, you know, him coming at them at the reunion and all this and that. And, you know, last episode he was starting getting all hyped with Tiffany about he acting like he don't know me. It can go there, blah, blah, blah. You know, all that big talk again, right? So now he comes sit down with Marceau. And I hate that Maurice is there because it should have been a one-on-one conversation. Maurice there chiming in too and all that stuff. I really don't like that. And it's kind of like he getting brother teamed over here, even though Maurice tried to play like he was on both of their sides. But anyway, so he was like, well, you came pretty hard at us at the reunion. And then Marcel's like, hard but fair. Oh yeah, can't forget the shady moment when Marcel, before they finna had a conversation, Marcel was like, take your shot. I don't want you to have no conversation without your shot. I'm like, you so damn messy. Because last season, when he said if he would have had a shot, it would have been a whole nother conversation up in there. I'm like, okay, that's a good one, Marcel. That's a good one. So they all laugh. He take his shot though. So then that's when he talking about he came hard at us, and then Marcel talking about hard but fair. And then he was like, no, I asked this woman to marry me when I was 26 years old. This is real. This is not for TV. This is none of that stuff. This is a real marriage. I'm like, okay, Maurice. Okay, Marcel. Okay. A real marriage where you want her to sit her ass at home and just take care of the kids, and you don't take care of your kids. Okay, girl. Okay. But then he was like, but you don't have no reason or no whatever reason to say that I have a bad marriage. And he really was harping on this, him saying that he had a bad marriage. And then the producers flashback, and it's Tiffany and Louis in their confessional. And Tiffany is the one that says that the marriage they say they have isn't that great. And then the only thing that Louis says is that he can tell they don't communicate. So, isn't that great? They didn't really say you had a bad marriage, but that's what you took from it, because everybody in the world is saying that you have a bad marriage, okay? So he was really harping on this. You said I had a bad marriage. You don't know me enough to say that. You don't know my marriage enough to say that. And then after all of this back and forth, Louis finally just like break down like, all right, okay, I kind of understand. I get it. I'm like, all that big talking you was doing. They're gonna bring that shit back up again. And then Maurice over here talking about, well, how would you feel if you walked in the room and me and him was talking about your marriage? And then he was like, oh, well, I would say you don't know my marriage enough to talk about. I'm like, oh my goodness. Played you like a soybean burger, bitch, okay? But anyways, so they call themselves resolving that. Then Maurice says that Marcel needs to apologize too, and then Marcel looking like, for what? For what I need to apologize for? He gonna look at Louis, you feel like I owe you an apology? And then Louis like, I mean, if you want to give me one, I'll take one. I'm like, you just want to be a part of the team. You just want to be a part of the team, Louis. So sad. But anyways, Maurice in his confessional says that Marcel never sees where he's wrong. And that he's like, when he was younger, he was more softer or whatever as a kid, and now he feels like he's been hardened, and maybe the money has changed him. I'm like, oh Lord, your brother said the money changed you. He said maybe the money has changed him, or him being a man and running his own life or some shit like that. I'm like, okay, boy, you just tried to cover it up because you said the money changed him. But I guess, child, maybe seeing himself on TV changed him. Look like he probably been like this all his life to me, though. But anyway, so then Marcel actually apologizes for being excessive after Louis backed down, basically. He kept coming at the dude. So he apologized for being excessive. I'm just like, all right, boy, bye. So now we're over to Martell and Mel Anika, his manager. So he coming there to talk to her about his wine, and apparently Martell is doing a cookbook. He got his wine coming out, and I guess he's gonna have other stuff going on, his little stupid calendar. But anyway, so they sitting there talking business or whatever. Apparently the cookbook he was gonna do, he had it shirtless before. He felt like boyfriends and husbands wouldn't want that in their house. So they made a more family friendly cover. I'm like, I guess you should have put your face on it, because then that's how people gonna know. But I guess you don't really want your face on it that much, so people would buy it. I don't know, Martell, but I guess get your coins. And then they talk about the kids not showing up and how he was very sad about that. You know, I was very sad about that, the kid, because we wrote the book together. Whatever, Martell, okay? And he's like, well, next time I just make sure that we do it on my week. Now you can make that request. You could make that request at first. Okay, Martell. Okay. But anyway, so they want to do the wine lunch in Atlanta. And want to do the wine lunch in Atlanta because she said she feel like people in Huntsville know him. They don't say, yeah, it's good, it's good. They want to get an outside perspective on the product or whatever. So she was like, who's gonna be on the guest list? And of course he talking about Marceau, Maurice, and then she like, well, hold on, we gotta make sure it's our business, because that picture online, he's like, that's just funny, you know, between us guys. She's like, well, get a group chat. Don't do that online, because then I gotta use PR coverage to get all this under control. I ain't finna be doing that again, okay? But then she gonna have the nerve to say, is linebackers invited? I'm like, okay, girl, you had to have a little shady moment, okay? But I did like how last episode, when he was all like, oh, the kid's not coming, looking ass, that she said that he has to make Mel feel safe to be able to do stuff like that. They not in that place yet, so they wasn't gonna be surprised if the kids didn't come, but then he wanted her to surprise him. Who are you to get a nice surprise? Okay, you didn't give her no nice surprise, you gave her damn baby as a surprise, okay? No. But I like that Melnika get his ass together when she need to. Okay, so shout out to Melnika. Now we're over to Stormy and Tiffany meetup. So they basically kind of meet up because Tiffany said she wanted to invite her out and get past that ignorant comment she made. I was like, damn, bitch. Well, tell her straight up, then. She was like, but I want to apologize, and you know, let's move on from that. Oh goodness, Stormy is hilarious. Okay. But anyway, so Tiffany, they trying to get an understanding with each other. Tiffany going on about all this. She doing all, they make it sound like she was talking for a long time, explaining herself with all this transparency. Well, I want to say it's authentic because I told you she do all that damn talking with all the damn words, okay? And Stormy started looking around and kind of looking at the camera like, she talking too damn much. I can't get a word in. And she really trying to explain herself for all this damn transparency. Maybe, do you come off as misunderstood? I come off as misunderstood. Like, she was really trying to lay it all out, but she was talking too damn much. And I'm like, oh Lord, Tiffany, you boring. You boring past starting shit. So maybe that's what you need to stick with, cause no. And then Stormy said, I'm sorry, you lost me like 5 sentences ago. I'm like, well shit, let her know. Tiffany was like, Tiffany said, is that shade? Her confessional. I'm like, yes. Yes, bitch, because you was talking too long and it was boring, okay? They sped it up like you was just going, okay? Even told you she was saying too many words when she was talking to me, and I'm like, stop. But anyway, so she was like, well, I call that pregnancy brain. I'm like, okay, Tiffany, that was a good one. Get back, because you know, Stormy just had a kid or recently had a kid. And she was like, they started talking about that, and that apparently she had, I don't know how to state the disease or the condition. It's a condition of some kind of endometriosis or something like that. And it's hard to conceive, so all this stuff. And she said she almost died during birth or whatever. So then they kind of bonding over that a little bit. And Tiffany says that she actually wants to have more kids when she thinks about it, because now her family is close and stuff like that. So if they wanted to, they could. And I'm like, how old is this bitch? Not to be rude, but girl, how old are you? You talking about you want another kid and your other kid is like 14, 15 or something. Like, oh, chop. And then she said, yeah, because you're like 33, right? She's like, yeah, I'm 34. 34. Tiffany, either you dress old or I don't know what you're doing, but you look older than what you say you are. Like, ooh, way older than what you say you are. But okay, girl, if you want a baby that late in life, I guess, you know, more power to you. But I'm tired already, okay? But anyway, she trying to have another child. Okay, girl. So basically, they end off on saying, oh, this was a good little meetup or whatever. And then Tiffany's like, well, are we good? Are we good? And then someone was like, it is what it is. We're still getting to know each other. I'm like, Tiffany, all this conversation, it don't mean, it's just one conversation. It don't mean y'all just gonna be besties now because you done said a little bit of your life and she said a little bit of her life. It was kind of like, okay, it's all right. We'll talk more. I got that. I mean, the fuck. Okay, so now we get to the Kiki and Tisha showdown, okay? And they meet up at Black. Tisha tells Kiki that she don't like that she was talking to Mel about her behind her back. And then Tisha was like, well, Kiki was like, it wasn't anything bad. I'm like, girl, you sure downplaying it. Okay, you downplaying it. But anyway, she was like, but you discussed my business with the Holtz and you were laughing. And I was like, oh, what business? When? Tisha started acting like she didn't know either. She's like, what you talking about? I know what you're talking about. I ain't like that, Tisha. Because then in your confessional, you talking about, well, 4 years ago, Kiki was invited to one of the Holtz Christmas parties. And something was going on with Kiki. And I felt that it was basically her right to tell the Holtz what Kiki was going through because she was going to be in their house. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? What the hell does that mean? Okay, she made it like, y'all might as well just told us because we all looking like, what? Okay. What would they need to know with her being in their house? Did she kill somebody? Did she steal from somebody? Is she a klepto? Okay. But anyway, she said she felt like she had to tell the Holtz. So she told them. And so basically Mel done went back and told Kiki, yeah, she told us about your business, girl. And they was laughing, Kiki, ha, 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 at your ass, okay? And then, but the whole time in the scene, Tisha like she don't know, and then she like, well, I apologized for that, didn't I? Didn't I apologize for that? And then Kiki was like, well, I don't feel like you've owned it. I don't feel like you really know how much that hurt me. And then she's like, girl, it was 4 years ago. We sat on the phone for hours explaining, and I apologized. But then Tisha was also trying to get her to spill her own tea. She was like, I don't want to say it. You say it. You say it. I'm like, this whole conversation went left. The whole point was that your ass, Kiki, was talking to Mel about my life, okay? Kiki was wrong for going to talk to Mel, especially knowing that that's your damn cousin. Don't be talking to nobody about, we family. No matter what we got going on, you ain't supposed to be going telling no other chick, especially if we ain't getting along, okay? So, and then she gonna try to flip it, and it's on some old shit from 4 years ago. Girl, bye. Bringing up shit from 4 years ago to justify your ass saying some business that you need to be saying. And then Kiki was like, I don't feel like you owned it and all that crap. And then Tisha just like, well, how about we just cut ties? How about we just cut ties? And I'm done with it, right? And I'm like, I kind of was like, okay, Tisha. Like, she was getting on her, but then same time, I guess she made Tisha look bad with the fact that she was talking shit before herself. Well, we should know this is Tisha. Tisha always talking shit. But Tisha gets up, we done, blah blah blah. She walk outside. She on the phone with Kimmy, telling Kimmy that she's shaking, and her and Tisha just her and Kiki just left it bad, and that she just said, how about we just be done? And then Kim was just like, oh, that's how y'all left it? And then Kiki walked out and she like, who you on the phone talking to about me now? That shit was funny. I was just like, okay, she got you there. She got you there, but girl, you got both in the wrong in a way. But yo, she just super old Kiki, so go on, let that go on die. You just want to bring back up some beef so you can be on camera, okay? That shit was old. I can see if it was like last year or some shit, but 4 years ago, girl, no. Okay, that's that whole meal. You on some bullshit, okay? Go, I'm done. But they left it at to be continued. Alright, so that was the end of the episode, and that's the end of my review for Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 4, Episode 4. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the belikedee channel, okay? Drop down in the comments and let me know what y'all think about the episode, what y'all think about this Kiki and Tisha beef, and this Stormy and Tiffany wannabe beef, because he really ain't beef, but they supposed to be friends. They trying to be friends or whatever they want to call it. All right,